Walking for what seemed like hours, the sole survivor pressed on with one thought on her mind: to find her lost companion, Max. It had been months since that night, a night much like any other. Tucked up safely in their makeshift camp when suddenly, in a flash of light, Max was gone. Now, unlike any other mutt of the Commonwealth, Max was a most loyal friend to the sole survivor, and the two were inseparable. From traveling together to playing together, their two lives were intertwined. It was what some would call an everlasting friendship. Now, months after the events of that fateful night, fraught with relentless questioning and searching, we find the sole survivor en route to a town shrouded in mystery and myth. A town once thought to be the center of all things supernatural, the last known location of active witchcraft, Salem. Hey there guys and gals, and welcome to my arse and this week's Fallout 4 mod review. So Salem is one of those places in the Commonwealth that did seem rather left out in the vanilla game playthrough. Yeah, there is the Museum of Witchcraft, which is an entity unto itself, but the town itself isn't really anything special, considering its history and the portrayal of witches and stuff. With that in mind, it seems that someone else has thought the same. Welcome to the Salem Settlement by greekrage. Designed in a way to ensure the town has a more realistic atmosphere and best viewed at night, the town has been redone from the ground up, adding in extra elements such as residential homes and businesses, and even a port area with fish farming. In the centre of town where the old church used to stand is now a flea market ready to be set up and used because, as the title says, it is a settlement, and a working one at that, allowing you to set up supply lines and customise it to your own liking. Surrounding the square there are pre-made stores, which are all usable, and some are even partly furnished. Speaking of which, one of the real gems in this mod is the restaurant area. Designed over 2 floors, the bottom being a high-class cafe, and the upstairs being a bar/club, which has an awesome view of the harbour. Heading over the bridge and hidden by the rocks, you'll find an entire island that hosts a lighthouse, and several other buildings to do with as you wish. It's a hugely expansive area to play with here, and there is much to discover. And there is another added extra that's only just been added in recently by the mod author, but that will become clear a little later on. Remember to note that you should have already completed Barney's quest before installing this mod, as there will be a conflict and you won't be able to complete this mission after you install this, so make sure you do it before. Other than that, a great mod to revive Salem that manages to keep your butt cheeks clenched and your interest piqued. Much like the ending of the movie Birds. Mind you though, I was more like, what the fuck? So there's like a house somewhere with thousands of murderous birds sitting outside. Alright then, I'll just make a note of that. Don't go to house with birds of death on. Salem was quiet. A little too quiet. But then, in a brilliant flash of light, a horde of rotting ghouls appeared, and a fight to the death ensued. Exhausted from the battle, the sole survivor realized she'd been bitten by one of the ferals, inducing her with an insatiable hunger for flesh. Trying to resist, she knelt down by the side of the nearest body and began to feast. One of the most goriest mods I've found by far is this next one. Wasteland Cannibals by veteran gamer Polyvelas. Have you ever noticed when you gain the perk Cannibal in the vanilla game, the animation is rather shit, for want of a better word? You finally get the perk and you're like, hell yeah, time for some goriness as a cannibal. And all you're subjected to is a half-assed mimed animation. Suffice to say, it's not immersive at all. What this mod does is make the entire experience one, well, let's say one that you're not easily gonna forget. You want gory? You want bits of guts and stuff breaking apart and bloody splatters all over the place while eating that random body? You got it, in bucket loads. So the elements that have been added in here are rather genius. For example, there are now added effects while eating a body, with custom physics added to the corpse while being eaten. You can now eat in stages, and limbs literally pop off when breaking apart, and it's all been consolidated to make sure the animation timing is bang on. This mod is definitely not one for the squeamish, especially when you see what kind of mess you leave behind after a little nosh. But overall, an insanely gory mod for all your cannibal needs. All this talk of eating is making me hungry. Not flesh though, maybe just a jam sandwich. Nom nom nom. The sole survivor looked down in horror at the atrocity she had just performed. Confused and bewildered by the event, she decided to continue her search, although somewhat cautiously. Beyond the church lay a harbour with a lighthouse. A good vantage point, thought the sole survivor, and headed down the steep steps towards it, before happening upon an entrance with cast iron gates lit with torches. A lit entrance, she thought. Tread lightly. The sole survivor headed to the entrance. The air was thick with the smell of death as she walked down the steps of the dimly lit corridor. Max, is that you? She thought. Sitting, wagging his tail happily, there was Max, behind a set of steel bars. Trying the door to the cage in vain, a sense of dread filled the sole survivor as she turned to witness the horrific scene before her.
I've been waiting for you.
A woman, sitting on a chair amidst the blood and sinew, studied the sole survivor. This must be the bitch that took Max, she thought. She's going to pay.
Not going to say anything? I get it. You're here for your mutt, and possibly some sort of revenge? Sorry, my dear, but I have plans for that flea bag, and you're not going to stand in my way. For I am the last great witch of Salem, and your dog's blood will be the key that will finally release me from this chamber. You want it back? Then face my wrath. For none have walked from this room alive.
So it looks as if our hero has run into the last great witch of Salem, who is sporting two very definitive mods. First up is the Demon Hunter female armor set by NCR Ranger 5X, Jojjo, GraceDarkling, and zzjay, and ported over from Skyrim. This mod is suited, booted, and ready to rock. Originally based on the game Diablo, but built from scratch. This armor is perfect for those of you looking to take on the life of a demon hunter, and look awesome while doing it. It comes in two colour variants, between black and red, and the options to choose between a light armor and heavy. And you can grab it in Fallon's basement in Diamond City. Up next, let's check out this freaky ass mask she's wearing. That is the Tokyo Ghoul's Kaneki's mask by NCR Ranger 5X and Akzyra. So masks are paramount to the Commonwealth, and indeed the world given the nuclear fallout, so why settle for something bland? Why not have something that makes you look psychotic? In these times, it is probably worth doing. So this mod adds Kaneki's mask from the anime show Tokyo Ghoul, and comes in two parts. One that covers the mouth with its own crazy smile, and a supporting eye mask, making it look somewhat reminiscent of the Resident Evil franchise. Ultimately a great addition to any mask wearer's wardrobe. You never know when you might wake up one day and feel like you're in the mood to look like a deranged psycho killer. Many have walked the road to Salem, though none have returned to tell the story. Only myth and legend live on. On this day a victory was accomplished. As the sole survivor and her faithful companion were reunited, they headed off in search of their next adventure, never once looking back on the town of Salem. Thanks for watching this episode, guys and gals. As you can see, I've been playing around with some Machinima. It is early days yet, as I'm still learning it, but let me know your thoughts. Constructive criticism is always welcome. Remember to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed. As for me, I'm off to start next week's video, so until then, have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one.